To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so Carolyn and I did our month-and-a-half grocery shopping trip. Now, we have been to the grocery store a little bit sooner. I think we went 2 weeks ago and we bought some chicken so we can can chicken. We got this bag chicken. It's thighs and legs. Big, 10-pound bag of it. And it comes up to $5.90. So we got 30 pounds of chicken, legs and thighs. Now last week we got it for $5.40. So it went up 50 cents per bag. So 5 cents per pound it went up. And that was pretty much the way everything looked in the store. I don't mean to argue with some of the community members who are saying that the prices aren't going up that bad. But to me and Carolyn, from a week ago, prices have went up significantly for us. 5 cents a pound for chicken, that was pretty significant. Now, if you get into the name brand chicken like Tyson chicken, that went way up. For a full chicken, it was over $14. So the other day I was telling you that we're gonna buy meat chickens, gonna raise them for about 10 to 12 weeks. And we're gonna buy them for $2 a piece and probably spend anywhere from $4 to $6 raising them. So that means there'll be anywhere from $6 to $8 total investment for the chicken. Carolyn just reminded me that the Tyson chicken for $14 was 8 pounds. And so we're gonna raise a chicken and it's gonna be 10 pounds and we're gonna be able to raise it for anywhere from $6 to $8 depending if we grow our own foods and stuff. Long story, I don't wanna get into that again. So we're gonna save anywhere from $8 to $6 buying a whole chicken by raising our own for 10 to 12 weeks. So the other day I was telling you, it may not be cost effective to raise meat chickens. Well, now I'm starting to see that it's getting to where it's cost effective. Of course, we've already canned 40 jars of chicken over the last couple of weeks. We're gonna do some more. Like I said, we got 30 pounds here. That'll give us another 20 jars. And then Carolyn says she wants to go back next week and get some more meat before the prices just skyrocket again. Like I said, 5 cents a pound, 50 cents a bag. Doesn't seem like a lot, but if it goes up another 50 cents in another week, so now we're up to $1. One of the things that was pretty notable was Carolyn said last week that hamburger, a big roll of hamburger, I think it's 10 pounds, was going for $1.99 a pound. It was pretty cheap actually. And it went up to $3.15. So in 1 week it went up over $1. Now I think sometimes that hamburger is around $2.50 or $2.80 a pound, so it still went up no matter what the price is. My point is we're starting to really see it at the market. We did not get near the cart full that we normally get. Normally we spend anywhere from $150 to $200 to fill all our shelves, fill the freezer, cure some ham. And this time we spent $140 and all we got was meat, some peppermint tea for my sinuses and allergies, some popcorn. I mean, really not much. Now, one of the things that we like to get is this bacon. This is a 10-pound box of bacon and you can get it for $20. So we got 2 boxes of this. The problem is our refrigerator only holds 1 box and that's all we can get into it. That's how small our fridge is. It's an apartment size refrigerator. Now, I'm going to can this. Warning, alert, don't do it at home. If I don't say that, I'm sure somebody's going to report me to YouTube and say, oh, this is a violation of FDA rules. It's not. I've said this in a previous video that YouTube says you cannot violate government regulations on YouTube. I'm not violating government regulations. Government has not made a regulation on bacon. So I've decided that I'm going to can bacon on YouTube. Other content creators have made videos about bacon on YouTube. They're all very old. So since the new rule, I don't know if anybody's done bacon. But I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to show you all the steps. That way, I can say, I did not show you how to can bacon. For example, I'm not going to tell you how long to cook it for. What I'm going to tell you is reference your own instructions on your canner. There is no instructions to can bacon, but there is instructions on the canned pork. Strips of pork, no less. So that's the instructions I'm going to follow, is how to can strips of pork. I'm going to give it a little extra time just in case. So there's going to be things that I'm going to deliberately skip out on. That way you can get an idea how to can it. The first thing I've already done is I've washed my jars. I'm going to use pint jars. I should be able to get 10 pounds of bacon into 10 jars, which is exactly how much one canner full is, one pressure canner. I'm gonna bring them out here, I'm gonna pack the jars. This is gonna be a lot easier in chicken because I don't have to pre-cook the bacon. With the chicken, I had to pre-cook it so I could get it off the bone. So cooking it took a long time, several hours. With canning bacon, you're actually cooking the bacon while you're canning it. Okay, so I'm going to cold pack these. What I'm going to do, earlier I said you don't have to cook the bacon, so that's called a cold pack. Hot pack is that your bacon is hot. That means your jars have to be hot too. So you boil your jars. That way when you put the hot chicken or the hot liquid into the jar, it doesn't bust. Well, since I'm cold packing, what I did was I just got some hot water out of the hot water heater. I washed the jar, rinsed the jar, then I just soaked them in this hot water. Of course, I can still get my hand in it. It's warm. I wouldn't be able to leave it in very long. And now I can put my bacon in it. And I'm going to pack it pretty tight up to the inch headspace on the jar. Now I'm going to use this little thing that comes with my kit of canning tools that I bought, and you can just kind of pack it down this way. Make sure you get it down below the headspace, that 1 inch headspace, and I'm just a little bit under, so I can probably get a couple more pieces in here. Maybe one. Yeah, looks like one. You don't want to go over the 1 inch because what's going to happen is as you cook this, it's going to release the grease, and you don't want the grease to come up here and hit your seal where your lid is. Now, of course, you got to wipe this off really good. I'll use vinegar water and clean that up. Okay, so now I got a washcloth, and I just put straight vinegar on it, and you want to wipe these down, the rings right here real good, because you got all that grease on it when you were trying to get the bacon in it. That way, the seal on your lid will seal right down on it. Anything in there is going to prevent that from happening. The other thing I'm going to do is you got to simmer these a little bit. You don't want to boil them, but you kind of get them warm, the lid, so you put them in a pan and you warm them up. All right, so I got the lids on. You put the rings on, just finger tight. You don't over tighten them, just till they snug up a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to put the tin jars into the pressure canner, and we're going to pressure can it. Of course, there's a long process to it. Now, I can already see that the grease on the jars is kind of coming off into the water. That's expected with bacon. Now, I know a lot of people are going to turn me into YouTube, and they're going to tell me that the FDA doesn't approve of this, but my grandma canned bacon. I'm nearly 50 years old, and I don't think I ever got sick from canned bacon. And, of course, you don't want to just eat anything and not sniff it and make sure it's bad, make sure your seals are sealed. You got to follow all the instructions of canning. You're supposed to lubricate this with vegetable oil, this seal here. So I've lubricated it. You put the lid on. This is the jiggler, this here. But you don't do that until the water heats up and you got steam coming out. You don't put that on until last. Okay, so I got the cans or the jars in the canner, the pressurized pressure canner. I've got my jiggler on. Instead of the 10 pounds of weight, I've used 15 pounds because normally you use 10 pounds for meat products. In this case, I'm using 15 because I'm above 1,000 feet. So you need to follow the instructions on your canner. When this is done, I'll shut the flame off. It'll cool down, and this little tab, not sure if you'll be able to see it, will drop down. Once that drops down, then the pressure in the canner will have been released. I can take the lid off, take the jars out, and you'll let them cool. Now, the way you saw me packing the bacon into the jar, there's several ways you can do it. That's one way. Another way is you pack it loosely in the jar. And another way somebody showed on YouTube is they cooked the bacon and then they wrapped it in parchment paper and stuffed the parchment paper and the bacon into a quart jar and canned it. Now, that's how the company Yoder's Bacon does. They can it bacon, and they can it in parchment paper. Carolyn and I make a sandwich for supper, bacon sandwich, bacon, lettuce, tomato. So we'll take the whole bacon out of the jar, and we'll cook it. Now, the way you get it out of the jar is you're going to You're going to take the lid off the jar. You're going to put the jar in a pan of hot water, put it on the stove, and let it boil up. That'll release all the grease that's going to, and then you're just going to have to scrape it out. So it's going to be more like bacon bits, not so much like bacon strips, which is fine for sandwiches. Somebody said to me in the comment section, I don't know if I'd like canned bacon. Well, it's not going to taste bad because when you take it out of the jar, you cook it like regular bacon, and it's going to brown up. It's going to be crispy, and it's going to be great. But we're going to have to start getting used to ideas of eating things that we may not think we're going to like because prices are going up, and that was very evident today. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom real close to the tab here. This is the tab that pops up and down. When there's under pressure, this comes up. When it's off pressure, it drops down. So now I know it's safe that I can remove the jiggler, so no steam's flying out at me, and then I can unlock the lid. And there's the bacon. All right, so I'm going to take this out. It smells really good. Okay, some of the lids are already popping down, you know, like that. So they're sealing up okay. I think with the way things are going with the economy and food prices, just in 1 week jumping up so dramatically, that we're going to have to figure out something else to do. I mean, all of us, not just me and Carolyn. And I think this is the way to go. Raising chickens, you know, by October we'll be able to butcher 25 chickens. You know, that's 250 pounds of meat. So I hope I can inspire you to prepare for the future when you're living your dream. Thanks for watching.